We have more Chicago Bears interview news, so let's get to it in this video right here. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears news update video, which I'll be doing anytime there's Chicago Bears news going on this offseason. And we have a couple more interview requests the Bears have put in since my last video. I kind of wanted to go over these interview candidates and talk about them a little bit, talk about if I want the Bears to actually go after them or not, and just give you guys my overall opinion on these candidates. And before we get on with that, guys, I do want to talk about a previous candidate that actually got denied to interview with us. Mike McCarthy. Okay, Jerry Jones blocked Mike McCarthy from interviewing with the Chicago Bears, so we will not be interviewing him for the next couple days. I think we can still interview him eventually if the Cowboys don't extend him, but this obviously greatly reduces the Bears' chances at hiring Mike McCarthy, because clearly the Cowboys probably want to keep him, okay, if they're preventing him from interviewing with other teams. So if you were a Bears fan hoping for Mike McCarthy, that's probably not going to happen. I was not hoping for that to happen, so I'm pretty happy that Mike McCarthy will not be coming to the Chicago Bears, even though he would have been, a mediocre coach for us, like maybe a decent coach. I don't think his ceiling was a Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears. Like maybe some first-round exits, which, again, still would have been better than what we have had here in Chicago as of late, but I don't think McCarthy would have led the Chicago Bears to a Super Bowl with his recent playoff disasters, right? So McCarthy is not happening, most likely. And another piece of interview news before I get into the other candidates is that the Bears are doing all of their interviews in the first round virtually with everybody. It's going to be over a Zoom call, which I saw some people not liking that. But guys, with the amount of candidates on the Bears list, okay, it's 16, I believe, at this point. Obviously you don't have the time to fly everybody in and meet with them in person. You only meet with the people in person if you're really serious about hiring them as head coach. So, the second round of interviews, I'm sure is going to be in person, but right now they're just getting to know everybody, kind of feel out who's there. And anyways, they're going to have to wait to hire their head coach, especially if they're going after a Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is only going to be available to hire after the Lions get eliminated, which could be in a month from now, right, in the Super Bowl. So I don't think it's a bad thing to take the time to talk with everybody, because you have so much time right now. You can gain insight into other organizations, how other coaches conduct business, and you could hire some of these guys to be assistant coaches, like potentially a DC, potentially a OC, potentially a offensive line coach or assistant quality control coach. Like some of these guys could still be coming to the Bears in other capacities besides just being the head coach. So I still think it's important to talk to, a large range of people, even though some Bears fans are kind of questioning, why are we talking to so many people? But putting that aside, guys, let's get into the other candidates that the Bears are requesting to interview. So the first new guy on the list is Pete Carroll, okay? Legendary coach Pete Carroll of the Seattle Seahawks. He's getting pretty old, okay? 73 years old right now, which does give me some pause, but Pete Carroll is a very young 73. Like, he has so much energy within him, probably more energy than 20 or 30-year-old coaches have, honestly. Like, this guy just, is a buzzball of just pure energy, right? And I think his personality would really mesh well with Caleb Williams, because both of them are so optimistic, so upbeat. Obviously, Pete Carroll coached at USC. Caleb Williams went to USC, so a little bit of a connection there. And Pete Carroll knows how to win. He knows how to surround himself with good coordinators. I have no doubt he would build a great staff in Chicago. So honestly, Pete Carroll, you could definitely talk me into that idea. I think he could definitely revitalize the Chicago Bears franchise, but again, the only worry I have is that he's getting pretty old. I don't think he would be here past 3 or 4 years maybe, but maybe in that time you could win now, develop Caleb, and then hand the reins to whatever hot OC is available when Pete Carroll retires, right? I still think he has enough energy to coach at least for 3 or 4 years. And again, he is a guy that knows how to win. He knows how to build a culture. Culture is the biggest thing that comes to mind when you talk about Pete Carroll. So I think it could definitely work in Chicago. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably rate my excitement level maybe a 7 if we hire Pete Carroll. He is pretty old, but I do think has the potential to work out in Chicago. Another guy the Bears will be interviewing is Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. The Buffalo Bills have a top-ranked offense this year with not having much receiver talent. Josh Allen is having one of the best years of his career. He's in the MVP talks, and the Bills offense is firing on all cylinders basically every single game. He took over for the Buffalo Bills as OC in 2023 when their previous OC got fired mid-season, and he helped the Bills actually make the playoffs that year, okay? They had a comeback mid-season after Joe Brady took over. The offense was much better. They made the playoffs, and then this year, things are really clicking. He was also the Bills quarterbacks coach from 2022 to 2023, and before that was a Panthers OC in 2020 to 2021. Before that, he was LSU's passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach when they had one of the greatest offenses, one of the greatest seasons in college football history with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. So he has a good amount of experience working with some top players. He's only 35 years old, so very young, but he's really smart. He knows how to work with a mobile quarterback like a Josh Allen. Caleb Williams also is pretty mobile, so there could be a fit schematically there in some ways. Now, I don't know if he has any ability to lead a team because he's only been a coordinator, but that's the same with all these other coordinators too. You kind of have to take a risk, and hopefully Joe Brady can lead a team if the Bears hire him. I would rate my excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10, a 7 if the Bears hire Joe Brady. The Bears will also be interviewing Cliff Kingsbury for head coach, which is pretty funny because they did not give him their OC job last year, and now they want to interview him for head coach. I wonder if there's any bad blood there from Cliff Kingsbury, but regardless, we know the connections that Cliff Kingsbury has to Caleb Williams. He coached him in college for a year, and obviously with Jayden Daniels is having a fantastic season, so he's done pretty good things with Jayden Daniels to simplify the offense for him in his rookie year. And before that, he was the Cardinals coach where he largely did fail, but Kyler Murray had some good seasons under him. It just kind of never continued in the second half of the season. So there's a lot of things to not like about Cliff Kingsbury from a head coaching standpoint, where I'm not sure how happy I would be at this hire. Maybe he's learned from his last stint with the Cardinals. Maybe he's gotten better over the years, which is totally possible, and hopefully he can surround himself with good assistant coaches. But I'd rate my excitement level probably a 6 out of 10 if the Bears hire Cliff. We know he's a good coordinator, but is he a good head coach? I don't know, and I'd be a little bit scared to find out, but maybe it works out. And lastly, the Bears are also interviewing Iowa State's head coach Matt Campbell, who I don't think this is a serious candidate. Maybe it could be, maybe he wants to make the jump to NFL, and maybe the Bears want to give him the opportunity to do so, but that would be a very risky hire to take a college coach that's never coached in the NFL ever. He's only coached in college since 2003, and he's done a good job coaching in college football. With Iowa State, he's done a very good job. His coaching record overall in college football is 99-66. So, he's a good motivator, a good recruiter, but recruiting doesn't really matter in the NFL. It's all, salary based, and it is a little bit of recruiting, but it's not like it is in college football. So yeah, I don't think this is a good candidate for the Bears. My excitement level would be probably a 2 out of 10 just because he doesn't have any NFL experience, and we need a guy with NFL experience to coach Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. So there you have it, guys. Those are the additional coaching candidates the Bears will interview, and let me know down below who is your favorite one out of these 4. I would say probably Pete Carroll. He has Super Bowl winning experience. He knows how to build a good staff. I know he's old, but he still has a lot of energy, so I'd be okay with Pete Carroll. I'd be okay with Joe Brady as well. Cliff Kingsbury, I'd be a little bit scared about, and Matt Campbell, definitely not. I don't think that's a serious interview from the Bears' point of view. But yeah, overall, guys, my favorite, in totality is still Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson needs to be the next head coach of the Bears. He is by far the best candidate out of any of these guys with his resume with the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, over the past 3 seasons. But we'll see what happens. Okay, he's interviewing with the Bears, but he's also interviewing with the Jaguars, with the Raiders, and with the Patriots too. So we do have good amount of competition, and hopefully the Bears can beat out that competition. Leave your comments down below, guys. As always, bear down.